How's it going, everyone? We are here to review the divisional round defenses. We just talked about this for DraftKings. Looking like a lot of solid offenses this week. So, gonna have to pick your spots. There's a few obvious ones, but other than that, what's your general vibe of this slate?
I basically narrowed it down to about three defenses that I'm going to really be using this week. I mean, I can see some shots on others, but, you know, basically, yeah, as you said, we got Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and then basically a couple other quarterbacks that really don't turn the ball over much, like Alex Smith, um, Russell Wilson, those types of guys. They don't, not great for defenses, but overall, I mean, there's a clear pay up option, but a couple other defenses I'll be looking at.
Clear pay up option. Who could that be, Jason?
Well, I mean, anytime you're going to get Brock Osweiler at home, yeah,
Mm,
Houston's offense didn't look that bad last week, but this is still not a good offense. I know they're healthy, but you look at them traveling on the road where they've averaged just 14.8 points this season, 18 points overall. New England ended the year at top, I mean, allowing just 15.6 per game. I think, the first half of that season, we looked at the Patriots and go, oh, they're such a boring, lackluster average defense. But come the end of the year, they were good for fantasy production. And they were just really solid, mainly against the run. But they do have some guys that can match up with these wide receivers. And obviously, I think we'll go back and people will look and say, oh, they put up 18 FanDuel points against Houston earlier this season. I'm going to lock them in.
and isn't the line like 16 or something ridiculous?
It's huge. Yeah, I mean, if you just want to solely look at Vegas, I mean, 14.5 team total for Texans, which is a full touchdown shorter than the Steelers. And yeah, I mean, they're just monster favorites. I don't see anywhere, like, I don't even think they're capable of like garbage time points. I mean, I know we've seen the
No.
past do that before, but I just see them kind of just dominating this game easily.
Yeah. So I think you're looking at 13 to 15 points from the Pats. I think you're gonna see Brock Osweiler throw a pick six. I mean, I think it's likely. If you were to hedge off them, who are you looking at next?
Certainly Kansas City, 4,800, so not much of a discount, but obviously the Chiefs, I mean, they've been really solid. I mean, in terms of double-digit FanDuel points, more than half of their games for sure, probably even three-quarters of that. And you just look at the playmakers. I mean, Tyreek Hill, a guy who can find the end zone anytime he gets a touch on the special team side, like that upside. And they really have, I mean, in terms of points scored or points allowed, I mean, they've always had stuff to kind of back them up. But at home, I mean, this is a different defense. Arrowhead is an extremely tough place to play. Tossing Big Ben in his home road splits, which is always something that we talk about whenever they go on the road. And so, as you said, Le'Veon Bell, this really hasn't been a great rushing defense this season. They've been more focused on the pass. So I think Bell's still going to have his way and still a guy to be, owned. I don't mind playing the two together either because it's a 4-game slate. But in terms of upside, I mean, Kansas City has it. Steelers, offense that focused around the big three, but I don't give them a lot of shot elsewhere to kind of beat these guys. So I like Kansas City quite a bit this week.
Mm, yeah, very interesting. And then you kind of just dive down into this no man's land of facing top seven offenses in the league. Is there anyone you want to take a shot on in sort of the 45 to 42 range?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a real big fan of Dallas, obviously going up against Rodgers, not a fan of Houston. I'm not really in on Green Bay this week either. I just think in terms of getting pressure to the quarterback is really what's needed to bail out that secondary. And going up against the best line in football, I think that's going to be tough to do. You look at Dallas, they had their way with this defense last time out, and Prescott had a pretty good day in Lambeau. I still think they're, you can throw the narrative out there. Prescott in his first postseason game could see some struggles, but come the end of the day, I think Green Bay is still going to be a remotely average scoring defense this week. So for me, I'd rather just go Atlanta. I think they got the better upside because Russell Wilson hasn't played all that well on the road. They score 15.9 points on the road compared to 28 at home. And this offensive line really hasn't been that good at protecting Wilson. I think that's going to be a help for really an Atlanta defense. I thought You may not see it going through their game logs and looking how they scored and the points allowed, but I didn't think they were all that bad come the second half of the season, despite the injuries. So for a punt play, I think they're an intriguing option, far better than those other teams.
Certainly agree there in terms of, punt options. They do have some really awesome players like Vic Beasley, who can definitely get some pressure. Um, okay, so in terms of those one, two, three, four, five teams that you aren't really in on, who would you take a tournament flyer on? Seattle, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Packers, Texans.
That's tough. I would have to go with Pittsburgh, I think, just because I think it could be gross. I don't see Kansas City blowing it open if Pittsburgh struggles on offense. I think the defense will turn things up. It could be a possible bad weather game. Obviously, it's always cold. You look at those games and they're usually low scoring in Arrowhead. So I think that would be my move because obviously I think those other teams, I'm just looking at a lot of offensive guys against them. And I don't think I'm really looking at too many guys off the Chiefs. I mean, you can make a case for some of these guys, and we will, but overall, if you give me the option to choose between those, I think the Steelers are probably more viable.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. I might try the Seahawks as well, just in the YOLO fashion. But in terms of their price range, clearly the Chiefs over them. Is there anything else you want to throw in there before we head out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, don't play Houston, don't play Dallas.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Seriously. As always, if you want to check out Jason's article, head over to dailyfantasycafe.com. If you like what we're doing on these videos, certainly give us a like and subscribe. And as always, good luck this week. And yeah, it's gonna be a weird week. Just like last week, playoff slates, 4-game slates, they're wild. So we'll see you guys next week.